Welcome. Thank you all for being here. It's just such a wonderful, joyous occasion to celebrate such an important accomplishment. And without any further ado, I would ask you to join me in welcoming to the dais our mayor, London Breed.
Thank you, Don. Well, first of all, I'm really excited to be here today. I remember when I was campaigning to be supervisor of this district, one of the things that I made a priority when I got elected was to focus our attention on rehabilitating public housing in this city. And we set out on a journey. And I got to tell you, it was not easy. Some of you know I grew up across the street in Plaza East before they were what they are now, when they were similar to the Pink Palace, which is now called Rosa Parks Apartments. The conditions that existed there, we all remember. We never had showers. We had problems with roaches and rodents. We had mold. We had just the kinds of conditions that no one should ever have to live in. And sadly, it was a community, and I love my community and appreciated what my grandmother tried to do, and so many of the other people who disciplined me and raised me and helped me through. Yes, I love you too, Randall. And the fact is, because this community took care of me and took care of my family, and I knew as supervisor that these conditions still existed in so many of our public housing developments, there was nothing that was going to be more important to me than trying to do something different to get the work done for the people who live here. And so we set out on a mission, and it was scary. Joyce remembers when we went around and we did all of these meetings with people, and here's the thing. We talked about RAD, we talked about what it would do, and of course, people were very fearful. They were like, am I gonna get displaced? Is something gonna happen? What's gonna happen? And sadly, we had a bunch of people who never stepped foot in any public housing development come in and try to invoke a lot of fear amongst the residents. And let me tell you, I appreciate the fact that you all trusted me and that you were all patient with us as we went through this process, because it was important that we developed a new funding source in order to pay for what we know were so many problems in these developments. The Housing Authority would get about $12 million maybe from the federal government to help with maintenance, and they had over $200 million in deferred maintenance. How were we going to make any change? And so that's why this program, when Ed Lee was our mayor, when Olson Lee was the director of the Office of Housing, I was your supervisor, we aggressively pushed this program forward, and now here we are, not only celebrating the completion of, I know, what was probably a challenging time for all of you, of the renovation of over 200 units here at Rosa Parks, but so far over 3,600 units throughout San Francisco of public housing. It is so amazing, and I see a lot of the folks who live here who are here today. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so grateful to you for trusting us, for your patience, because I also know it was probably very challenging to go through this renovation process. We know that can be difficult, but I really want to thank the partners that we have, and you'll hear from some of them today. TNDC, thank you so much, Don, who's here with us, and your team at TNDC, for your understanding and your sensitivity to the fact that we have people who are seniors who live here on fixed incomes. We have people who have disabilities. We have people who work here every single day and being considerate towards the folks who occupy this space on a daily basis. And thank you to Bethel AME. Many of you know Bethel has been an incredible partner in providing and working with the community to help with affordable housing. Pastor Shaw isn't here with us today, but we will have someone speak on his behalf. And again, thank you to this incredible community. The Mayor's Office of Housing, Dan Adams is here as the acting director. So many people worked so hard, and we wouldn't be able to do this without the appropriate financing. And so thank you so much to Bank of America for continuing to work on all of these incredible RAD projects. It's like, you know, we're like the dynamic duo when it comes to getting this work done, and we do truly appreciate the partnership that comes from Bank of America. So here we are on an amazing day, celebrating an amazing milestone for San Francisco. And I am reminded of, you know, because Edley and I work really closely together, and I'm really grateful to him for working with me to make public housing a priority. He knew how important it was to me, but it was also truly important to him. And one of the things that he said on a regular basis, it can't just be about making new promises. It has to be about fulfilling old promises. This community has been promised so much over the years, and now today is a great example of a promise fulfilled. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Mayor Breed. This truly is the fulfillment of a vision, and it's hard to understand or recollect 8 years ago what was in your mind and Mayor Lee's mind, and to see this come to life is really amazing. So please next join me in welcoming Sister Stephanie.
Good morning. Thank you, Mayor London Breed, for coming. My name is Sister Stephanie Hughes, and I wanted to take a minute just to share a little bit about myself and what this building and the community means to me. I was born and raised in San Francisco, and I grew up here. I knew this area, but the Pink Palace, but I dared not come over here. I was so afraid of the space. My mom was like, she would have killed us if we would have come over here. It has such a bad reputation. There was so much danger and so many things happening in the community that would just traumatize if I shared it with you. But I moved to Bayview when I was 18, where I raised my 5 amazing children. But 9 years ago, I had the opportunity to come back to the Fillmore, the Western Addition. And when I moved in this place, I actually got a little scared because it was so quiet. I used to walk down the hallways and actually literally be people behind me because I was so not used to the quietness. It scared me. And me and my mom we would laugh when we walking down the hallway. We both going, somebody behind us, you know, teasing each other about it. Like, because it's so different than what I knew and what we knew growing up in the community. But I love this community, and I love my community family. I call them all family, my Asian family, my Russian family, my Rosa Parks family. My neighbors call me sometime and try to speak to me, and I don't even know the language, and it's funny, but somehow, some kind of way, we still communicate. We still communicate because there's so much love, you know, amongst us. And the staff here have been very supportive. We do an array of programs here. I do field trips, barbecues, art therapy with the families here, and the staff has just been amazing. The Tennis Association have just been amazing, very, very supportive. always trying to provide things to bring us together as one whole community family, loving and nurturing on one another. Since the renovation, I love my space. So I'm now in a 2-bedroom. When I moved here, I was in a 1-bedroom, and me and my son and my dog, Kita, can't leave her out. And so now we're in a bigger space, and I'm just enjoying it. I'm right there, so I can see the courtyard. I'm on the 2nd floor. I can just yell out of my window, "Hey, what you doing today?" And "Hey, come here." I can call out your name, and I love it. I love being able to see what's going on over here at the center and the parking lot. I don't have to come outside. I got a good little sunshine coming into my apartment. But and then I can walk my dogs. It's easier for me because I can just go right down the stairwell. I'm right there by the stairwell, a couple of doors from it, and and I love it. But I'm a little nervous, you guys. I don't know why, but I am. So let me finish. So the one thing I do like about the renovated spaces, though, is I like the way that they did our cabinets. I like that the curtains are gone, because that was costly to have to take your curtains down and wash them for me. And but it's nice and it's neat. The shades that we have now is nice and it's neat, and all you have to do is just dust them off a little bit. But what this space really means to me is more than about cabinets, courtyards, and my dog. It's about safety. My safety, the safety of my community, and the safety of my sons who come to visit me. My 4 males of color who visit their mom. It's not easy finding a space where you can feel safe with your young men of color in the city. But here in this particular community, my children can come visit me, and I am very happy that they feel safe, and I feel safe allowing them to be able to come and see me. And for that, I am very grateful. So thank you all on behalf of the residents, the Tenants Association of Rosa Parks, and thank you for making this all possible.
Thank you, Sister Stephanie. Reverend Shaw was unable to be here this morning because he was called out of town, and he is the pastor of Bethel AME Church. So here to speak on behalf of Reverend Shaw and Bethel AME Church, please welcome Mr. Bobby Sisk.
I was given a 24-hour notice, so I won't be long with you. Madam Mayor, thank you for being here, and to our partners, thank you, and to each of you, and certainly to the residents. Bethel AME Church has a 167-year history in this city. 47 years ago, they sponsored and built Freedom West, nearly 400 units that are situated around the church. Once that became 97% occupancy, the church moved out and the board of directors took over. But Bethel didn't stop there. It went on to buy several other affordable housing properties in this city. When this whole notion came with the San Francisco Housing Authority selling off its inventory, our church became very concerned as to what would happen to persons, particularly in this community. We needed to find someone, somebodies, if you would, that would listen to us and have an appreciation that we are a faith-based organization. We are interested in people. We're interested in people having safe and affordable housing. Although we own several buildings, our mission is very clear. We want safe, affordable housing. So speaking with Mr. Donald Fork and the others at Tenderloin Neighborhood Development Community, I always get that wrong. But anyway, we decided that we would forge a relationship and we would do 2 properties together. the Willie B. Kennedy, and the Rosa Parks. We are delighted to have that relationship, that friendship, that allows us to have a say as to what is happening in this community with respect to affordable housing. Reverend Shaw is about 2 years new to the San Francisco Bay Area. Prior to him being assigned, we had a pastor by the name of Reverend J. Edgar Board, who was here for 22 years and was very instrumental in our housing portfolio. I believe if Reverend Shaw was here today, he would be overwhelmed by seeing the sea of individuals that are here, seeing this beautiful building, knowing that millions and millions of dollars were spent to get it to this level, and all of you that are here today. I want to thank you for letting us be partners in this venture and say to you anything that we can do. We're just situated right there on the corner of Golden Gate and Laguna Streets, and we're here to serve. We're here to do all that we can to see that particularly the Western Addition / Fillmore affordable housing is a priority in this city. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sisk. Bank of America has been a partner not only here at Rosa Parks Apartments and throughout much of the public housing re-envisioning that Mayor Breed referenced, but has been a longtime partner of Team DC's in many different projects. Please welcome Joy McCarthy.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me today. And it's such a privilege and an honor to be here. The mayor and I have done some of these grand openings together, and I will tell you, her passion runs deep. She doesn't miss a grand opening, and that is a true commitment to the work that we started, but that she continues to carry out on a daily basis. So, again, Bank of America has, you've heard, that has financed a lot of these projects. It's called SF-RAD, and I want to make sure you understand that $2.2 billion was the number that Bank of America committed to, and it's only out of $4 billion nationally. So San Francisco is a very important part of what Bank of America stands for, and Giannini started Bank of Italy in 1904 and financed projects like the Golden Gate Bridge, the Bay Bridge, the ferry building, and our commitment to San Francisco has never been stronger. This is our purpose. Our purpose is to help where help is needed, and when we're asked by our city to step up, we make sure that we find the resources to do it. I see smiles on faces today, and we know that no matter what we do to build a building, it doesn't matter, except for if it matters to the people who are in it. And I'm so happy that so many of you are here today. What it means is the relocation happened for a good reason. Like, you were able to come back. I know there's gardens. I know there's extra space and windows. I think I even saw an elliptical machine over there. This is a place you can call home. It's safe. It's for you. And we're so happy that it happened pretty much on schedule. I think it was mostly on schedule. But again, it is a wonderful project. There are 29 of them in the city, and we're so happy to keep doing this time and time again to make sure that folks have the resources that they need, but more importantly, have a community that they can depend upon. I heard your words when you said it's safe to come home. Maybe it's not quiet, but maybe it's peaceful, and that your dog and you can have a great time here. Meeting other people in the community is very meaningful to us. Bank of America really tries so hard to make sure that we are part of everyday life in the community of San Francisco, helping those who need it most. But more importantly, we want to continue to reach out and continue to work hard on the projects yet to come. We know we can provide financing, but we know what we can't do, and we have amazing community partners. So when we reached out to Dawn, Emily, Bethel Church, we reached out to so many people to help us with things that we maybe were not thinking about when the financing came to be, and we were so lucky to make sure that our community partners worked with us in lockstep to make sure this happened. So thank you again. We're so happy to be here today. I can't wait to keep touring the buildings, and I look forward to our next project. Thank you again.
It's hard to convey the complexity, the difficulty, the number of problems involved in undertaking a project this vast. And in these kinds of projects, one person lies at the center of all of it, and that is the project manager. So I hope people will give a warm welcome to Emily Van Loon.
Thank you all for being here to celebrate the rededication of Rosa Parks. I've had the pleasure of seeing this building through construction from 2016 to today. You know, there's a long list of folks who contributed to the success of this project, and we couldn't have done it without you. There's a couple organizations I'd like to call out for their invaluable efforts here. The Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development, as well as the San Francisco Housing Authority, HUD, as well as Bank of America, our partners at Bethel AME, our contractor, Cahill, as well as our architect, Levy Design Partners, and of course, the residents here at Rosa Parks. These folks were here every step of the way, and they were great teammates. I also can't pass up the opportunity to thank my colleagues at TNDC, past and present, for their hard work here. Thanks for your support, your advice, and for trusting me to get this job done. I'd like to focus on a couple of the big successes we experienced here at Rosa Parks, all of which you should check out today. First is the Webster Street People's Garden, which was added to the plans during construction and paid for out of savings. It produces 100 pounds of food every 2 weeks and is home to TNDC's only greenhouse, which provides plant starts to all of our 9 gardens and farms. Yeah, that's cool. Rosa Parks also has a fitness center that was upgraded during construction. With help from residents, we chose fitness equipment that works for the seniors here, including a treadmill that operates at lower speeds and a seated arm cycle that's perfect for folks in wheelchairs. There were also a few traces of Rosa Parks' past that were softened during construction. We redesigned the entry lobby and reception desk, removing floor-to-ceiling security glass and creating a warmer space to welcome our residents home. As Don mentioned, unoccupied rehab can be really difficult on residents. We had an active construction site here for 24 months, with 50 units under construction at any given time. This was a really big project. And there's a certain amount of noise, dust, and stress that can't be avoided during a project like this. But despite this, the team here at Rosa Parks worked really hard to minimize construction impacts on our tenants. My favorite example of this was when Cahill installed doorbells at each end of a long hallway that was under construction, so that our residents could signal when they needed to pass through to get to and from their homes. It was creative, and it kept everyone safe, and it also provided some laughs when residents ding-dong ditched our contractor from time to time. It was a great pleasure to get to know and work with the residents here at Rosa Parks. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. I want to take the opportunity to share just a few closing remarks. And I want to start by asking all of those who live here at Rosa Parks, the tenants here, will you raise your hands for people? If you live at Rosa Parks, will you raise your hands? Yeah. So we entered your homes. And I want to thank you for being so gracious, so helpful, for suffering the way that people suffer when you're undergoing a renovation. You are truly our partners. We could not have done this without you. I want to do another little raise of hands as well. If you participated in the development in any way, if you touched Rosa Parks between 2016 and now, will you raise your hand for people? Can I ask all the people who worked on the project to raise your hands? So, right on. So, thank you. So it's just really important for me to to recognize explicitly that TNDC plays a role, and we are only one of many. These developments do not happen but for an entire community of people who are working together to achieve a vision. And in many ways, these events that we do to celebrate are events of gratitude. So I want to thank all of you who worked on bringing this to fruition for your efforts. And then I guess I also want to reflect that TNDC, in many ways, we're not only guests here in your homes, we are guests here in the Western Addition in Rosa Parks all together. And I'm just so grateful for the way not only Bethel AME, but the entire community here has welcomed TNDC to be a part of bringing our competencies and our resources in order to make something good happen. And for me, that is what I see as part of TNDC's role. We are a part of a much larger, important ecology to make the city and county of San Francisco better for the people who live here. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to play that role. Finally, I want to invite you not to miss the opportunity. There are units open on the 2nd floor and the 10th floor. You can see not only the garden, but the urban farm outside and enjoy the food afterwards. Thank you all for coming.